Hello, tech enthusiasts, and welcome to today's learning about best practices for like your email protection systems. I know many of you might be like, oh, I know this, we've seen it so many times, but it cannot be oversaid because these are just the easiest ways for people's systems to be hacked or for there could be a breach or email protection systems. Like, what are the things you're supposed to do? What things do you need to take note of? How can you protect your systems, whether as a small scale organization or even large scale? We're mostly talking about small scale because most times I know the big hackers go for the big time companies and want to steal so much, but there are some people, the small, especially maybe the script kiddies who really don't know what they're doing or they want to test out whatever it is they want to try, they've been trying to learn. They always just target this SMEs, small organizations, or just even individuals like you and me. And if you don't know the right things to do, you can always get caught up in their web. And to be a sorry matter. And we don't want that to happen, right? So for some certain small organizations, what they do is they actually prefer using like maybe third party email providers instead of like setting up their own email systems. But it's always better for these people to actually know how to secure their own, have their own email systems and enhance their email security. And for them to do this, I'm just going to talk about three ways they're going to um, secure their email system. So through like system apps configurations, we talk about education and training. And finally, we'll talk about phishing simulations. So for so for yes, email system. Sorry. So for the email system configuration, you just have to make reference to NIST framework. Like sure some of you might have heard of NIST. You just go use the NIST framework reference. Yeah. And some could be like maybe like the PR, PS2 and the PR IP1. You can just look this up so that you can just but generally in order to enhance security of an email system, there's some certain things, certain controls one has to put in place. So firstly, I'll just recommend avoid free email system like critically. These are like best practices. So instead of using like free email systems for your organization, or especially if you're just small business, try and get provided. So maybe for example, if it's like healthcare, maybe something small scale healthcare practice. Just try and get like a consumer grade email system. Sorry, those ones are not good. Um, you can get like an email system that can actually handle like protected information of your organization. If it's health, maybe like the protected health information. Just use an email service provider that actually specializes in healthcare so that they can help you ensure that there's compliance with the data protection and the regulation and the security standards. Another thing that one has to take note of is Spam, very common. Spam or having an antivirus software. Yeah, having an antivirus software. So once you ensure that your email system has like like spam or antivirus software, the solution is just will just automatically help you detect and block any form of suspicious email that wants to get into your system. And this way is going to prevent any unwanted individual from actually reaching your employees' inboxes. Like we know how these things work. It's so easy. The easiest way to breach an organization is through their employees. And so that's the easiest way to get hacked. That's the easiest way for there to be a breach is through the individuals themselves, not even the hackers, the employees, the people you employ. And once you have it in place, you're going to keep these systems updated, which is really important so that you can defend against any latest threats. So once you have your spam antivirus software, you're all good to go in your system. Another thing you need to have in place is multi-factor authentication. I know we all know about this, but it cannot be overemphasized because we need to keep talking about it. You know, the more you hear it, the more you're more accustomed to it, you're used to it, and then you implement it. So implementing multi-factor authentication actually adds an additional layer of security, which will require every user to actually provide two or more verification factors so that they can access their email accounts. And this will significantly reduce the risk of any authorized access, even if a password is actually compromised. Then another thing you can do to protect the email system of your company would be browser. All these are still under the email system configuration because we're just talking about email system configuration now. I'm just saying things you can put in place to actually increase the security and protect the email system and reduce breach. So you have browser security. Okay. Browser security settings. So every one has a particular browser, maybe like a default browser that they use on their system. It's always really good. So whether it's you're using Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, whichever browser you're using, you have to optimize the security settings in the web browser so that you can just block unnecessary access to any malicious websites. Because I know employees, people are always trying to go from one website. That's why I'm really emphasizing small scale because large corporations have the funds to actually get a very standard IT department who can actually help with this. I know small scale usually outsource their IT departments or outsource this IT part to help to make their systems robust and help with optimizing their security settings on most of their applications. Yes, so once you outsource it, whoever it is you're outsourcing it to, you have to just ensure this third party outsourcing helps you put all these things in place. Make sure that they block any form of, they would actually put the security settings of the web browser so that it can block access to any malicious websites. Browsers actually identify potentially dangerous sites and they warn us, even day to day, like for an individual user who is not even a business person. Most times when you're working on your Firefox or Mozilla, you might click on a link and then you just see somewhere on the top left corner and then it says it blocks pop-ups. That's those are settings that help you block dangerous sites and then they warn you before you can even access them. Or sometimes they're like, this thing you're about to click on is going to take you to a site that is malicious, that is not trusted. And this actually helps to prevent phishing attacks that can use malicious links to actually compromise your system. Then another thing is tagging external messages. Yeah. So to tag external messages, and what does this mean? It just means that you configure your email system to tag messages that are from external sources, like with a warning label, such as to just say external. I don't know, most of you, if anybody's working like a corporate company, like most times you will see this, like once you receive a message that is not from the internal, so just tag it as external. And this would actually help any user within the organization space. So your employees will see this and know that, oh, this help them identify that this particular email that is coming in is from an outsider. It's not from this organization, it's from somewhere else. And it will prompt them to exercise caution while reading it before they actually open them, so they won't fall prey or victim to. Another control that can be put in place to secure email systems in an organization is like email encryption. And what is email encryption? Email encryption, what it actually does is to just help to protect sensitive information sent via the email. So encryption generally ensures that only any authorized recipient is the one that can read the content of an email. So to reduce the risk of data breaches. And then on this aspect of email system configuration, I'll just talk on this last one. That will be unique user accounts. And this is really important. This is a critical aspect of every organization, every user's account. Every user account should be unique. Like every employee should actually have a unique email account that is tied to their identity. So, shared accounts can actually lead to security risk and accountability issues. You say you don't know who accessed what or who clicked on what or who received what. But once every single person, every single employee has their unique user account, it helps in protecting emails and it helps in protection. And then the provision once you deprovision these accounts promptly when an employee leaves to it actually prevents unauthorized access. So once an employee is about to leave the company or the person resigns for whatever reason or the other, you just deprovision the account. It doesn't exist anymore. And that's it. So the second one we're going to be talking about is education and training. Actually, this is really important, highly important. It cannot be oversaid. We should continuously train and educate our staffs and employees and ourselves. Because you might think you know something well enough, but the moment you stop hearing about it or the moment you stop learning about it, it leaves you and then you actually just forget it. And if it's not something you practice at the time, you will not be able to help yourself when a security breach happens or there's an attack from an outsider. So, educating staff is really important. Every organization has to continuously educate their staff, whether small scale or large scale, so that it can protect against phishing attacks. And how can you do this? True. You can do this through training programs. Mm. Can be done through training programs. So once an organization wants to implement training programs that includes information on phishing techniques and regular training to just help the employees to actually recognize potential threats and understand how to respond immediately. And in this training, they have to know how to check any embedded links. So employers have to know how to hover around using their links in the email so that they can verify any particular URL before they click on it. Looking at the at signs, looking at the way the URLs are directly written. Maybe in cases where they write HTTP instead of HTTPS, like looking out for certain just little words. Sometimes some links .ca instead of .com, or they change some letters for and then put a U just to make it look like it's something they already used to or something they know. So they have to really, the simple step can just help to identify any phishing attempts that can just use to deceive them through deceptive links so that they can lure the users into the malicious websites. You just have to be careful, know the spellings. It's just about the details. It's really about the details. And then suspicious from addresses. So what I mean is, like, employees have to actually know this too. When you see if from, so like when you click an email, and this is most times what people use, the hackers use. So employees have to be trained how to scrutinize maybe sender's email address for signs of spoofing. So for example, maybe an email from a user, like the user may use this, maybe user at amce.com instead of user at acme.com. Just something like this. And this is just a phishing attempt. What they just change the M to E. And for most people, when they just click their emails, they're not really going through, oh, this is okay, I'm care Acme, like they look alike, and then they go ahead, read the email, click whatever, and then they're baited at that point in time. Another thing employees need to be trained on is urgent messages. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, phishing emails create a sense of urgency. So they tell you to do an action right away. That is extremely suspicious. You have to be cautious with emails that demand something like a quick response. Click this now, get this now. Or they're giving you very limited time to even think for you to give some certain information. You have to take time. Once they're demanding quick responses or access to accounts, this should be verified legitimately before acting upon it. Another way employees are really gotten or baited is through messages that seem too good to be true. Usually all these get rich quick schemes. They'll say do this thing and you get this amount in this amount of period of time, or click this thing, or do this particular thing. They just give some certain word messages, like some unexpected emails you just get in your account exactly at like winning money. They just tell you if you do this particular set of things, you're going to win this. And the money is always really large, a large amount. So they target the greed of people, or they want to give you a gift card. These are phishing attempts, and employees and every single one of us needs to be aware so that we can verify such messages before we actually take action. And then using encryption. That's part of security. Once something is coded away from the normal message, and a regular reader can actually understand, it helps to protect your system. So the importance of using encryption for sensitive emails so that we can protect against any form of interception by hackers. And then also handling sensitive data very carefully. It's always good to handle sensitive data carefully, because just one small mistake can lead to loss of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars for the organization. So all this training is really important. One employee's mistake, one person's mistake can lead to loss of trust, loss of identity, loss of customers' data, which is and once customers' data get lost, there's breach of trust. You lose money, and every single organization is trying to make more money. So always invest in your employees, invest in yourself, invest in safeguarding yourself against any form of breach or attack. The need for extra caution. There just needs to be extra caution when handling emails containing sensitive data, especially for maybe health information or financial informations, or even very sensitive data for security, like the Air Force, Army, very detailed informations like that that do not just need to get out there and that can cause so much damage if it gets into the hands of the wrong people. So that they can be accidental data breaches can actually be avoided. So we're now going to talk about the phishing simulation. Yeah. Next, we're moving to the phishing simulation. And before I continue this phishing simulations, I would just like you to check out the link in my About page. Check out the store there. If you're looking for an opportunity to start working, just a business opportunity, it's free just for you to check it out. Every single step on how to start, free work from home opportunity, how you can make your first few dollars in the first few days of starting. The steps are there, how you can get started so that you just don't get left out. this is this is a new year. You gotta get that back. Okay, so phishing simulations, you have to train staff to recognize phishing emails through simulations. And how do you do this? Is through regular campaigns. Yeah, regular campaigns. So conducting regular campaigns like maybe monthly, quarterly, actually continually test and improve employees' ability to recognize phishing attempts. So real-time training help reinforce the lessons learned. So you can just send out random emails within the organization just to test if the trainings that has been implemented over time is being learned by the employees. Then simulated phishing emails too. Yeah, simulated phishing emails. IT specialists have to actually send simulated phishing emails to employees so we can track how many of them will actually fall bait. And anybody that falls bait, I'm sure many of us actually see this in organizations for very standardized organizations. I know a lot of other organizations don't do it. And I just feel they're putting their whole business at risk by not investing in the security of the organization and investing in training the employees. No matter how small your business is, once you start that and implement it in your business, it becomes a part of it. So as it grows, it it also grows with it. So you just remove that risk away from it. I'm sure you don't want to have ever have to encounter something such as a ransomware. Nah, it's not funny business. So what simulated phishing emails will just help identify which employee actually needs any additional training, and then a baseline will be established for measuring the improvements in their awareness over time. And then there will be maybe gradual complexity. So you start with the basic. So for those who have gotten used to the basic training, then you move up. So from basic, you now go to easy to spot phishing emails, and then you now gradually increase the sophistication. And this approach actually help employees to build their detection skills. It doesn't have to be easy all the time, because hackers, they don't care about it being easy, because like I said, there are the script kiddies, and there are the advanced persistent threat guys out there who really know what they're doing. So they're not going to send you very easy things. They will come in hot. So you always have to be prepared. So benefits of phishing simulations. Phishing simulations are, they're really an invaluable way for training employees. It cannot be overemphasized, so that employees can be able to identify and report any form of suspicious email. So while they cannot stop all phishing emails from reaching an organization, because you really can't, every single day there's one phishing email or the other. They don't stop, they don't sleep, they're not tired, because they need money. That's how tirelessly they work. So we all also have to be prepared. Phishing emails won't stop reaching the organization, but we always have to be prepared through training and awareness, like real life training, hands-on experience, like increased vigilance. We just have to keep the threat of phishing at the forefront of employees' minds. You have to make them know that, and at any point in time, this thing is going to come. So making every employee more vigilant and cautious when handling emails, like improving recognition skills. Like every employee needs to adapt to recognizing the common phishing tactics every single day. Because as we see these things, even during 0-day attacks, like attacks which we've never seen before or we've never had, we always now implement it, because we'll now report it, record it, and then also teach the employees that this is the latest one in town that they're using, all the form of deceptive links, spoofed email addresses, all these urgent too good to be true messages, any form of behavioral change. So once they start seeing these signs, every employee actually develops better habits, and they're actually less likely to fall prey of phishing attempts. Then threats that have to be mitigated. Funny enough, okay, we can talk about human sensors. Yeah, that's just came to my mind now. Mm-hmm. Human sensors in action. Yeah. So it is more like early detection. So once you educate your staffs and your staffs are actually vigilant, they can act like human sensors within the organization. And like I said earlier, every employee is like the first line of defense to quickly identify and report any form of suspicious email. Incident reporting. Once any employee figures out anything, once it even sounds or seems suspicious, they should be taught how to report this. So the IT team will actually act very promptly once an employee has reported this, so that the potential threat can actually be quickly mitigated before it escalates into something big. And then feedback from simulations actually helps to identify any form of weaknesses in the areas of improvement in the organization, and allows the organization to actually tailor future training sessions to address any form of specific vulnerability. So when these phishing simulations go ahead and threats are mitigated, because these phishing simulations help to protect against very key threats, which is email phishing attacks, ransomware attacks, and insider or accidental or intentional data loss. So the email phishing attacks, which involve fraudulent emails, are usually designed to trick the recipients into giving sensitive information, such as maybe login credentials or financial details. And once you train your employees To recognize these phishing attempt simulations will reduce the likelihood, and there'll be reduction in the likelihood of successful phishing attacks that can compromise sensitive data. For ransomware attacks, what's a ransomware? Ransomware is like a type of malicious software that encrypts a victim's data, and then the attacker will now demand a ransom to restore the access. And many ransomware attacks actually start from phishing emails. So once the employees are educated, they'll avoid actually falling as victims of bait clicks or clicking any form of suspicious link or downloading any form of attachment so that they can prevent any ransomware infection. Then any insider attack. So maybe like an insider threat. This might be from an employee, maybe somebody who accidentally or intentionally just causes a data breach, or someone that is an employee that is about to leave, and then due process is not done about checking their they don't have access to the emails or their system when they're about to leave. So once you train employees to help them to handle these emails and sensitive data very securely and reduce any risk of accidental data loss, or even sending emails from their work laptop to their work emails to their personal emails, things like that. So once these simulations and all these practices are put together, small organizations, big organizations can actually significantly actually enhance their um, email security of their organization. Thank you so much for being part of today's exploration into learning about email protection systems for yourself, for your organization. I hope you've been able to gain valuable insights. And I just want to ask that you check out the link in my About page, which offers you solution to work from home opportunities and help you to grow your business if you're someone that's just starting, give you guidelines on how to make that money as fast as you can. Well, not a get rich quick scheme, but something that you can do consistently that will just help you implement into your business and help you grow your business and make as much money as you can, depending on how much work you put into it. But if this is not something that you really care about or something you're not interested in, no worries. Just by helping click the subscribe button and sharing it can actually help to show that I'm giving you valuable information, and this support will actually mean a lot to me so that I can continue delivering free tech content to you and the rest of the world. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.